Good morning, everyone. I'm here to continue with the research tips on defending your PhD thesis convincingly and successfully. So this day, you are welcome to Dr. Asemota Academic Research Empowerment Forum. Previously, I've presented two videos on how to defend your thesis convincingly and successfully with audio. One without the audio and one had a voice over. So I have two videos I've presented before now, and this will be the third one. This presentation focuses on practical examples of how to defend your PhD thesis for excellent performance, and also to be able to have understanding of how to present your PhD thesis during your viva, okay? Because at the PhD level, which is the pinnacle of academic achievement, one can attain in the academic sector or in the academic setting, it requires extensive research and a written thesis. So you have to be prepared. Like I said, if you watch my two videos, the previous videos I've loaded online on YouTube, you will glean so much information from there. Okay. This presentation this morning will showcase examples at each stage of your presentation with practical examples or excerpts. I've given examples like snippets or extracts from my own PhD thesis, okay, that will help you, okay, to make sure that you are on course, okay. And this serves as a template anyway. So also it may be applicable to master's research projects. Just tone it down to the level of your research and any research project, and that will go a long way. So let's progress step by step with practical examples and excerpts. Okay, let's progress step by step. Okay. I'm not going to look at the introduction statement of the problem concept, but we talk about it in the course of this presentation. So let's start off. Like I said, you have your title slide. The slide shows what you have looked at, what you have researched, what you have solved. The topic of your research is very key, is the starting point. On that slide, you have the title, and you differentiate the title with a thin line. You write your name as the presenter, your registration number, and the date of presentation, that is the date of defending your research, and then your supervisors. Okay, if there are three, if there are two, you indicate your supervisors, the main and the co-supervisors. Okay. So let's go to the introduction. The next slide talks about the introduction. While you are trying to present, we are looking at time, and also that your slides should not be clumsy. It must not be too many. It shouldn't exceed 25. Should be between 20 and 25, or 23 and 25 slides. So you look at, where you're giving the background information about your research topic and what you have done, you have to look at it from the global perspective. These are examples drawn or from previous and relevant empirical studies done globally, and it should be backed with appropriate sources, okay. And also it should be anywhere in the world that is different from your location. Then after that, you look at the regional perspective. You just highlight the point, and these are examples of previous and appropriate empirical studies conducted in Africa region, or your region, or the continent. Then the local perspective, these are the examples from the country where the data were collected. And every area that you are looking at, the global, maybe be it global, regional, local, should be backed up with relevant sources. These are very important as uh, the researcher is concerned. In everything you do, you write, you produce statistics, facts, and figures. They must all be backed up with sources. For example, if you are looking at issues in higher education, for example, what are the challenges? For example, in the local perspective we are looking at, are you talking about the subsidy reduction, the national strikes, excessive workload, large class sizes, or commitment levels, or whatever is the focus of your research? You must state the challenges that you you are looking at. Okay, what is the statement of the problem? The problem solved should be clearly stated and defended. This is without the problem, there will be no research, because it is the problem that has enabled you to go ahead to carry out this research or conduct this research, and you are presenting now. You had presented previous seminars, maybe your concept paper proposal, the research topic, and so on and so forth, and now you have already done the research. You have published maybe 2 or 3 papers in the course of your PhD program, and now this is the defense that you are going to defend what you have done. How did you do it, and this and that. So the problem maybe is the issue of this and that over this and that, influencing this or that, impacting this and that, whatever your topic, you state it there, and then you list the core problems of your research topic. For example, if you are talking about problems in higher education, for example, what are those problems you have reviewed, and that led you to the problem? I mean, that led you to come up with your own problem that you are able to solve in the course of the research. What about the vision? For example, you can look at the vision of the country in respect of higher education, the mandate of the Commission for University Education, the omnibus duties of lecturers, employment contract, university transformation, students to lecturers ratio. The statement of the problem maybe up to 3 slides, because that is the core of your research. Okay, the next slide, you look at the general objective and specific objectives. The general objectives encapsulate everything that you are looking at with your goal, what you have solved, and also the general objective look at the holistic objective that covers everything that you have done, while the specific now talks about each and measure in looking at the independent variables and the dependent variable, how the one influences the other, and then you look at the moderating variable as well. So you may decide to list the specific objectives as well, but here I have decided to only come up with the general objective, because in the course of the presentation you will see that I've already in the analysis, interpretation of data, you see the specific objectives explained there. So because we are looking at ability to manage your time, and also to avoid clumsiness in your slides, so you either decide to state only the general objectives or both. To save time, it's better to state the general objective. Hypothesis can be cited, but along the line you can see my hypothesis in the course of the other slides, the subsequent slides on the interpretation of data. So that is that. Let's move to the next slide, talking about the conceptual framework. This is very key. You can see the independent variables, the moderating variable, and the dependent variable. Here you look at the independent variables. In each box there, you can see that they have indicators. So you must state categorically what are those main independent variables there, and with the indicators. The indicators will help you to design your questionnaires, and also to measure those indicators and those objectives. How will they be measured? Those are the questionnaires that people, your respondents, your participants were able to fill in order to help solve the problem. So you can see the conceptual framework. Okay, and all these slides that I captured, I titled from statement of the problem into this will be discussed later fully. We are going to take each, and then I will still talk about it in the course of the next video. Okay, theories that are backing up, or that have backed up your research should be explained in a slide. How many theories have you looked at, and why did they give reasons for supporting which objective? So like you have seen, if it's social exchange, or depending on the nature of your research and which area you are looking at the topic. So you look at the theories and state it, who postulated the theory, which objective is that theory supporting. If it's supporting one objective or two, state it, and then you can explain. You must be fully prepared. You don't need to allow your slides to be wordy or clumsy. Just one line, one bullet point, like you have stated, you have seen in this slide. Then you now explain. The next one is talking about the research methodology. Your literature review, questionnaire design and validation, letters of introduction for data collection from either your university ethics committee and the research body that we approve your license of conducting the research. All this must be observed. Okay, the pilot study, where you did it, how you came up with adjustments, and then who are the trained research assistants that helped you. What are the challenges that you came across in the course of the data collection, and then also. So you have to do that also. Then looking at you state within the research methodology, you have to add, incorporate sample size, the number of respondents, okay, the respondent sample, and also the representative sample, okay. The sampling technique, you explain why did you choose it, because the questions may come, but along the line, you just first of all present how you did and make sure that you you are able, you are able to complete the presentation within the slotted time. Okay, you look at the research design and the target population. What are the data collection instruments? The pilot, like you have said, is it structured, unstructured questionnaires, permission granted from the body of research that offers licenses and approvals? You must be able to state how did you go about it when they gave you approval. Then the pilot test is 10% of the sample size, and you could talk about the reliability of the instrument. What is your Cronbach alpha coefficient? Questionnaires administered, how many, and how many research assistants that helped you. The validity of the instrument, you look at the face validity, the construct validity, the criterion, and the content validity. Okay, these are very important in your presentation, because at this stage you are defending what you have done, the data you have collected, you are interpreting, and you are informing the panelists how you were able to conduct the research, the results, the interpretation, and also. So in the research findings and discussions, these are the findings now. What are the response rates? Okay, the response rate, the non-response, and the response rate. People that responded and returned the questionnaires, and people that did not respond. So you have to state. You can see here we have the pie chart. Okay, yeah, the number of, and you have to support it with a key note that says the blue represent the people that return the questionnaires, and then the red you can choose to represent with whichever color. Okay, the reliability test, you state it there, and the Cronbach alpha coefficient. We continue. You have to state the demographic data, the gender, the marital status, institution, age, highest academic years. Well, it depends. For me, this is what I was able to formulate in the demographic data. Okay, the nature of work, employment type, current position, and then you create space of interpreting. For example, look at the gender: male so percentage, and also female so percentage in the course of the. So both genders were involved. There was no gender bias. You have to state and justify and explain everything that you have done on that demographic data. The demographic data is important. Then next, it goes to the overall objectives, overall descriptive results per the research objective. You see, the research objective comes here now. You are looking at the research findings, the research objectives. Those are the statements on the left-hand side of the table, and the mean and the standard deviation. Then you have to explain the mean ranges from this and that, indicating that the respondent agreed that there is maybe no correlation, or there is a positive influence or whatever. Then standard deviation too, you have to explain with the figures that you obtain. Okay. And then what are the diagnostic tests you conducted? Explain the diagnostic test conducted with tables, because this will help you with tables and generated by SPSS or other statistical software packages. Did you do normality test? I did normality test, autocorrelation test, multicollinearity test, and homoscedasticity test. And these are tests that your test may differ from my own test, but may be sure and justify why you chose to do whichever test you did. Okay. And that the next table talks about results and interpretation of the correlation matrix. You look at the variables that you have taken, okay, the independent variables and also the moderating variable and the combined effort of the variables. You see, when it gives you such a value, it talks about, for example, if the R value there is 0.610, it means that there is moderate positive relationship. From this slide, I'm showing you examples of my own research, okay, what I did, and that's it, just to guide. This is just a template and with snippets from what the research I conducted at my PhD research, okay. And if it is 0.761, the R it is showing that there is strong positive and significant relationship between the independent and the dependent variables. And also if it is the relationship is 0.821, like you are seeing on the slide, it means that it is a very strong and significant relationship. All the p-values were less than 0.05, and therefore the variables were what? Significant. Okay, that takes us, you must present the regression model equation. Okay, depending on what you did, this should be there. Okay, the linear regression model, you represent the independent variable y there, and equals the b naught plus b1 x1, which is the first independent variable, the second one, the independent variable, the third, and the fourth. Okay, the multiple regression model talking about measuring the influence of the independent variable and the independent variable. Look at the moderator, how each the moderator. In my case, I look at the moderator and I calculated it with the variables that are there. Okay, this is just a guide. Okay, and these are just excerpts briefly from my papers, from my results. Okay, regression, result, and interpretation. Look at, you see the slide. It shows the objective, the R squared, and over F value, coefficient, and remarks. You have to, first of all, state your objectives. If you have 4 objectives, it must be stated, and the R squared of each, and also the coefficient, the R value, and then be able to explain and interpret. You can see on the slide, the topic, the title of the slide is regression, results, and interpretation. You see, when you have data, you have captured the data, you have coded it, and use the SPSS or any software package to interpret, to analyze the data. The result must be interpreted, and it must be interpreted correctly. So you can see from there, the model was statistically significant. 32.5% of the variation in the ABC, that means that variable that you are trying to measure, was explained by XSS, statistically significant. It's statistically significant and had a significant positive influence. Okay, and you look at the coefficient also, and you are able to explain. And the same you do for the second objective, the third, the fourth, and the combined the moderator variable as well. Okay, so the summary of the findings, this one you have to look at the descriptive result again, state the findings per objective, what you've observed, and the summary of the results that you have gathered. And also you do the same for the inferential statistic result, and looking at summarize each predictor variable using the R and the R square and the coefficient. You state if they are statistically significant or not. Is very important. You state if it, and what are the contributions to knowledge. You look at the empirical evidence, and you look at the methodology you have used, if there are enough evidence for you to capture as contribution to knowledge, and the cumulative evidence. Okay, and By so doing, it will help you. And from there, you move to the recommendations of the study. You have to support each with research objective. You make recommendations concerning policy recommendations, recommendations to the organizations, the practitioners in the organization. If you are looking at the human resource practitioners, you look at the human resource practitioners, the professionals, okay, in organizations. Which type of organization are you looking at? Is it higher education institution? Is it a manufacturing? Is it service industry? There are a lot of things that we are doing there in research. So you look at, and it must go in line with what you have looked at. Leaders and managers, you recommend what they need to do. Human resource practitioner and other stakeholders, engineers, planners, consultants, and you look at the areas for further studies. Okay. That is where rest my case today. And thank you for watching. If you're watching this, and you will watch more, and I want to thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more academic tips and for more academic research empowerment. For consultation, you are welcome. That is my email. Visit my YouTube, and I wish you the best in your academic research. Thank you for watching, and watch more, because we are going to be rolling out each topic on research at master's level, PhD. It is applicable to any postgraduate research that you engage yourself in. Thank you for watching. I'm your friend, Dr. Olukemi Olufunlola Semota.